All right, so we've got our deeper network set up. What we've done is we've plugged it into my home switch and directly into a laptop. From that point, it took about 2 minutes. It says that the green light will come on for a few seconds. Then you'll get blinking red lights, and they will turn green, and you're back in business. So from there, you go to 11.22.33.44. And that's going to take you into the dashboard here. So you see we've got map of the U.S. and the world. Looks like we've got quite a few connections in the U.S., some in Europe, and some over there in Southeast Asia. So we're just going to quickly click through, take a look here. You've got your system information, current IP, MAC addresses, so on and so forth. And then you're going to have your traffic information. You're going to have your logs. From here, you can upgrade your firmware as well. Currently, it's auto upgrading, so don't have to worry about that. I'll take a look at some traffic information. Shows you what the distribution for each HTTP, DNS, and so on. We've got your logs here, showing that we've got some tunnel connections open, tunnel connections closed, showing us where our data is going. And off to the right, it shows us login information. So it's out the box, it's set up DPN Smart Route, which means it's not going to route all of your information through a single. It's going to pick and choose. So the first tests we're going to run here are going to be some using my direct local IP ISP, and some are going to be going through a North America DVPN. So you can see there, you can click the button, you can switch to a different node. Most nodes right now are in the US, Europe, and quite a few in Asia. You'll see here and in a moment what options you have. There's quite a few options. There's just not nodes in every country at this point. So scrolling down and get through some routing information. You can set up direct routes. So essentially, if you use the smart routing function, you can set permanent static routes. So if you'd like your YouTube to go through your ISP, or if you'd like your Netflix to say go through Singapore, you can set that up. You do have your web filter here. It shows blocking ads, blocking trackers. You'll see shortly it doesn't block ads 100%. YouTube ads still get through. And you can also block adult content. So that's pretty nifty if you got kids. Here in my network, we already blocked that. We do have a Pi hole set up as our DNS server. So that's how we take care of that. So obviously, first login, the default admin username password. We're going to definitely want to change that. And just get yourself a nice password set up. All right, so there we got a speed test running. Well, right now we're currently going through a North American node. Speed test and, in the teens. I'll pop open YouTube here. And you can see it's the way I've sped it up, but it's definitely responsive. Changed it to high quality. Loading YouTube videos, loading thumbnails very quickly, and definitely usable. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to check out some Netflix. I'm going to blur this out because Lord knows Netflix couldn't be picky. But again, it's loading, watching high quality. Definitely, again, is very usable, and that's in North America. So you can see on the right, our logs have shown our connection, and now we're going to change it to a full route. And now we're running all our network traffic through the node. Speed test is actually a little bit better coming out of the UK. Probably just the node we had selected in the US. So here we are at What's My IP. And we're going to copy that IP and we'll get some locality information. So looks like London, England, ISP DigitalOcean. And looks like it's doing its job, routing our traffic through a London-based deeper network node. So you can see here we've got our open and close connections for different nodes. We'll bring up Netflix through the UK. Again, loads pretty fast and definitely watchable, definitely usable. So we're going to go through tunnels here, and we're going to change ourselves to Singapore. And this is, again, it's the full route. So this should put all of our data straight through Singapore. And first thing we'll do is go over here and take a look. And now this, you can see in the corner there, it says DPN full route Singapore. We'll check our IP again. You can see our IP has changed. And we'll go ahead and we will do an IP lookup on this IP and give ourselves the location. So you can see that's our IP address. And if we go over to get the IP location, we'll copy and punch that in. Show us where we are. And as you can see, that location is based out of Singapore. So we are getting our traffic through a Singaporean IP address. And we'll run a speed test here. You can see that same IP and run it through a Singapore server. You know, bandwidth and speeds are significantly down. Of course, it's traveling halfway across the world. Now we'll run a different test here. Check our jitter. So you can see latency 260 with about a 30 millisecond jitter. Speed test download upload is about the same as the last test. Again, it gives us our Singapore location. See, YouTube has changed. We're definitely getting some more Asian content. So YouTube believes we are also coming from Singapore. And we'll load a couple videos here. And you can see they load. They're high quality. It's definitely usable. Go here to Netflix and browsing around Netflix. Didn't see a lot of change from this point of view, but definitely is loading thumbnails. It can load our videos. A very usable experience on every node so far. Definitely don't want to be downloading large files. Probably see some significant decrease in bandwidth. You know, we tested highest so far in the mid-20s. My bandwidth for my ISP is 500, so definitely get some improvement there. So you can add nodes, and you can choose the region and the country. And here we're going to add a couple nodes, and we're going to add a China node. You'll see that you can choose some of these areas, some of these different countries, they don't have nodes, so the active IP won't populate. So you have to have a area that has active nodes to connect to. And once you add those in, you can see we added East Asia, country China, that active IP immediately propagated. And we're going to add India, and there's definitely nodes in India. So you'll see pretty quickly that the active IP will propagate as well. They say currently have them in 200 countries, and it may be the case that I didn't wait long enough for the Caribbean. You me see here. We'll change this to India. Still running the full route. And we'll go ahead and check our IP again. See, now we've accessed the internet through a different IP as well. We'll do the same process here. We'll take a look at this IP, look up the location, and it's going to give us some information about where it thinks we are. Hopefully India. All right, and you can see here, some city, can't really say that, in the country in India. Again, DigitalOcean. Could be that these are running behind VPNs, or they could be running the Atmos OS just on a virtual machine, which we're going to get to the bottom of so we can figure out how to show folks how to do this without having to purchase a device. So I'm going to run some pings. This again is through India. Pretty consistent to high 200s. And you see all of our tunnels are propagated with IP, so we can choose whatever we want. And what we're going to do now, just drop back into the US, get a different node. So we should be having another US IP. So there we are. Looks like we're showing somewhere is that Ohio. So there you have it. We've got Deeper Network Connect Nano. Definitely a pretty cool device. This showed good performance through Asia, through the UK, through India, and through the US. Clearly there is a decrease in your speed, but it's usable, and it's usable even to watch your Netflix. So pretty nice. I think that there'd be multiple uses for this. I can imagine people setting up a wireless access point that goes just through this. Maybe even just using your gear to set up a virtual wireless access point that you can connect to when you want to change your address. All right, that's my Deeper Network information. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm actually pretty stoked about this. I think that's very easy to use, very user-friendly, plug and play, a little bit of setup, let it ride, sit in a cabinet and do its thing. Do a follow-up video once we get some earnings and we get some more understanding of what the tokenomics of this is. But appreciate your watch, and hit that subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment. Good night.